Room temperature can now be set on required temperature without producing any air pollutants. No need of AC/heater anymore. For my experiments and for the life of the equipments and procedure, I need a constant temperature in my lab. But with existing technology at that time, I have to spend so much on construction, architecture and structure. That's why 6 years back, when I decided to construct my lab and warehouse on 800 acres of space, I needed temperature-controlled devices. Until then, I have already discovered the concept of the existential magnetic field EMF and also have all the required knowledge of it. It took me almost 3 weeks to construct a temperature manipulator TM. Temperature manipulator TM can manipulate the temperature of any required point/space/shape through manipulating the impact of the existential magnetic field of surrounding objects, including Earth's existential magnetic field on that required point/space/shape. Here, all things on the surface of Earth, mainly above sea level, are considered as objects of surroundings. The required temperature which suits me best is 25.6 degrees Celsius. My lab, warehouse and workyard all have the same and constant above temperature. I can also adjust the temperature inside any required space where I have already manipulated the temperature without impacting the temperature of other parts of that space. Here I am adjusting/manipulating the existential magnetic field of surroundings on that point dynamically, as many of my experiments are done below 5 degrees Celsius. Here I take precautions and dress as required for that space, as I am not changing the temperature of my body. I can also manipulate the temperature of the body and also have done that, but I am not in favor of that because it creates complications of handling the equipments while doing the experiments. I don't use refrigerator/cold storage for storing equipments, cells, tissues and hardware. Everything has its own space/room with adequate temperature. I don't need AC/refrigerators/heaters/cold storage to change the temperature. And also, temperature manipulator TM doesn't produce air pollutants like other devices/technology. Here, I use my own created nuclear reactive metal radium to power the temperature manipulator TM. Even I produce my electricity on my own through radium. All my lab, warehouse and workyard run on the same temperature manipulator TM will be used in my spacecraft, on which I am still working on, so that I can go from one planet to another through fourth-dimensional space travel. Remember, I am not changing the value of the existential magnetic field of objects. I am only manipulating the impact of EMF of the surroundings around that point. It is hard to know the magnitude of the existential magnetic field of each object and events happening on the surface. I am only detecting the cumulative existential magnetic field by surroundings on that point. Have you ever seen the boiling point of water in the mountains is different from the boiling point of the same water on plain land? This is all because of the existential magnetic field of surrounding on that space. Every material has a different boiling/melting point at different existential magnetic fields. For now, I am not going into details. Every planet or satellite is hot at its center due to cumulative existential magnetic field, but a cold and hot planet is decided by the temperature above the surface/sea level above fixed radius from the center, and this radius depends on the Earth's existential magnetic field. Remember, EMF is always the same at that point of time on the whole planet, but not constant all the time, which means EMF values keep on changing due to the distance between Earth and Sun and many other factors. The temperature of Earth at its center varies from 1620 to 1718 degrees Celsius. Earth is hot from the inside, but it is a cold brown planet, as its default temperature varies from 380 to 210 degrees Celsius, but impacting temperature varies from 103 to 68 because of surrounding objects around that place. This change is mainly because of the sun and ozone layer. Other factors can be the height above sea level, location, coordinates and many things. You may have experienced the same temperature and humidity at the same place or at different locations at different points of time feel differently. It is because of overall EMF impacting the temperature. I can only manipulate the temperature on Earth within the range of Earth's EMF. As I am manipulating the temperature artificially still by default, it has a natural impact on the moisture and humidity of that space. My lab's natural temperature varies from 13 in winters to 42 in summers, and by using a temperature manipulator TM, all 800 acres of space has the same and constant temperature of 25.6 degrees Celsius.